The New South Wales Police Force. For regional and country areas, the NSW Police Force consists of more than 400 police stations and over 18,000 officers, who are responsible for covering an area of 801,600 square kilometers and a population of more than 8.2 million people. Under the Police Regulation Act, 1862, the organization of the NSW Police Force was formally established in the same year with the unification of all existing independent police units in the state. The authority and responsibility of the entire police force was given to the Inspector General of Police. The NSW Police Force currently operate with a strength of 21,455 employees, with 432 police stations, 3,300 vehicles, 52 boats, 9 aircraft and a budget of 4.8 billion Australian dollars. The motto of the NSW Police Force is the Latin Culpam Pena Premit Comes. The NSW Police insignia includes the motto. Its coat of arms features the state badge, a soaring Australian wedge-tailed eagle carrying a scroll with the word Nemesis, the Greek goddess of chastisement and vengeance, and here signifies retribution and justice, a wreath and the St. Edward's crown, the crown of the Queen as the NSW head of state. The mission of the NSW Police Force, as set out in the Police Act 1990, is to work with the community to reduce violence, crime and fear. NSW Police aim to protect the community by police conduct a wide variety of further specialist duties undertaken by specialist commands. Like all other states of Australia, local municipalities in NSW have only very limited law enforcement responsibilities. The police perform the primary law enforcement role in all areas of the state. Law enforcement has existed in various forms since the foundation of the colony of New South Wales at Sydney in 1788. In order to protect the infant town against thieves and petty criminals after dark, Governor Arthur Phillip authorized the formation of a night watch in August 1789, consisting of 8 of the best-behaved convicts. After his appointment as the new Governor of New South Wales, Governor Lachlan Macquarie restructured the police force in January 1811, setting up a basic system of ranks and control and recruiting free men into the force instead of convicts. Police units were under the rule of the district magistrates. After the conflict in 1824 with the Wiradjuri people around Bathurst and Mudgee, British authorities recognized the need for a mounted force to maintain control in frontier areas. As a result, the NSW Mounted Police was formed in the following year. Up until 1850, this force operated as de facto cavalry unit as the troopers were soldiers requisitioned from the British Army. Their main task in this period was to subjugate resisting groups of aboriginals and capture bushrangers. From 1850 the mounted police took on a more civilian role. In 2009, it had 34 horses and was claimed to be the oldest mounted police unit in the world. Another specialist group formed during this time were the water police. By this stage, the NSW government could not afford the cost of maintaining the mounted police along the expanding frontiers of the colony. A new frontier police consisting of mounted convict troopers, called the Border Police, was therefore established. The convicts assigned were mostly soldiers who had run afoul of the law. The Border Police was funded by a levy placed on the squatters who had brought livestock into the areas beyond the borders of settlement. In addition to controlling the Aboriginal and bushranger threats, the Border Police were also tasked with resolving land disputes with the squatters. With the end of convict transportation approaching, the Border Police was dissolved and replaced with another low-cost frontier force called the Native Police. This force consisted of Aboriginal troopers under the command of British officers. Exploiting intertribal hostility, the duty of this force was mostly to crush any Aboriginal resistance to the spread of British settlement. From 1859, the responsibility of the Native Police passed from the NSW government to the newly formed Queensland government. In the early 1850s, Victoria seceded from New South Wales and they created their own force. As the colony expanded, a more sophisticated form of crime management was called for. This involved unifying all the police units into a single cohesive police force with a centralization of authority. After a failed attempt made by Act No. 38 of 1850, unified control of the police eventuated in 1862 when the Police Regulation Act was passed, establishing the New South Wales Police Force. The first Inspector General of Police, John McCleary, was appointed to assume overall authority and responsibility. The Police Regulation Act, passed in 1935, changed the official title to Commissioner of Police, with its role clearly defined. The position of Deputy Commissioner was also created. By 1872, there were 70 police stations throughout the colony in sub-districts, with a total